Okay, so here on page 2 from section 2, we are attempting to get really good at graphing linear equations. And to do so, we want to trim down how many points we need to find in that table. From section 1, we practiced finding 5 values of x, plugging them in to get y. This time around, we're going to become just a little bit more sophisticated, be a little bit more efficient, and then we are going to narrow it down to just 2 points. We only need 2 points to really draw a line. And so we're going to do the easiest points possible. And it's easy to find a point if all you have to plug in is 0. So when you plug in 0, one time for x, then turn around and plug it in again for y, the other variable, what you'll come up with is the x-intercept and the y-intercept. So that's why the directions say to find the x-intercept and y-intercept of the graph of the equation. And I'm going to combine both of these types of problems. In the book, they have you do a set where all you do is find the x-intercept and the y-intercept. Then, as they move on later in the assignment, they have you find the x-intercept, y-intercept, and then use that to graph. Well, we're going to look at both of those together here, because that's where we're headed. The point is to graph. First of all, you're just going to find the intercepts, don't graph, and then later you will graph them. So let's start here at number 10. 2x plus 6y equals 30. So we're still in that process of making a table. We won't always be making tables. We're going to get more and more efficient as the chapter goes on. But for now, we'll start by making a table. Notice it's only 2 points. And we're going to go for the easy plugins of 0. So first we're going to start by putting 0 in for x, and when you do that, your y is going to be equal to whatever 2 times your x plus 6y is equal to 30. So if we put in 0 for our x, we're going to get 0 plus 6y equals 30, or just 6y is equal to 30. Divide both sides by 6, and you get y is equal to 5. Whoops, sorry, I didn't mean to grab that orange. Y is equal to 5. So we have the point 0, 5. When x is 0, y is 5. And some of you might get to the place where you can do some of this in your head. That's fine, but as the problems get more difficult, if you're struggling about what to do, write out the steps. It's your best and quickest way to be prepared for the exam is to start writing out the steps, talking it through, and telling somebody about what you know how to do, and you will really own it for the exam. Okay. So that's the first point, is 0, 5, and that is the y-intercept right here. Okay, so the point 0, 5 is the y-intercept, because it doesn't go anywhere on the x-axis, it just goes straight up 5, so it lands on that y-axis, and that's known as the y-intercept. So then the next easy plug-in is to let y be 0. So we do that, and we've got, over here you've got 2x plus 6 times 0 equals 30. So we put in 0 for y now, and that gives us 2x plus 0 equals 30, or just 2x equals 30. Divide both sides by 2, and you get x is equal to 15. So you get the point 15, 0. So 15, 0 is the x-intercept. Okay, so you're just going to start the assignment by finding intercepts from the equation. Let x equal 0, plug it in, see what you get. Let y equal 0, plug it in, see what you get. And that you get 2 ordered pairs, 0, 5, 15, 0. Notice the 0 is in one spot, and then it's in the other. First it's in the x to get the y-intercept, then it's at the y to get the x-intercept. And then later, you're going to do the exact same thing, a little table of 2 points where you're plugging in zeros for x's and y, for your x and for your y, and then you're going to plot those to graph it. Okay? So our next equation is 10y equals 60 minus 40x. And I make a cute little table, just 2 points each, and I'm going to let x equal 0, and then I'm going to turn around and let y equal 0. So let's first let x equal 0. That's going to get you 10y is equal to 60 minus 40 times x. So now I'm going to put in 0 for x here. And then I get 10y is equal to 60 minus 0, or just 10y equals 60. Divide both sides by 10, and I get y is equal to 6. So I get the point 0, 6. Then I'm going to let y equal 0. So this is where x is equal to 0. Let's do the same thing now with y is equal to 0. So I've got 10 times 0 is equal to 60 minus 40x. And I'm going to plug in 0 for my y value. And that's going to get me 0. 10 times 0 is 0. 0 is equal to 60 minus 40x. So I'm going to need a couple more steps this time. I'm going to add the 40x to both sides to avoid the negative here. So 40x is equal to 60. Then divide both sides by 40, and I'm going to get x is equal to 60 over 40. I'm going to reduce that so I can kind of clearly see what numbers I'm looking at. It reduces to 3 over 2, or 1.5. So I'm going to put that in as 1.5. Just because I know that I'm graphing with this, so this should be something that I can easily mark out on the axes here. Okay, so those are my 2 points now. I've got the point 0, 6, and I've got the point 1.5, comma 0. This one in red here is going to be your y-intercept. It's where it crosses the y-axis, and the one in green is going to be your x-intercept. It's where it crosses the x-axis. So I'm going to plot them here, 0, 6. 0, don't go left to right, but go up 6. And I think I'm going to pause for just a minute. I'm going to extend these axes so you can really see on the notes what we're talking about here. We've got our x-axis, positive to the right, negative to the left. Our y-axis goes up and down. Positive is up, negative is down. So there's our x-intercept of 0, 6. And then our y-intercept. Our x-intercept, 1.50, so I'm going to go right in between the 1 and the 2 here, 1.5, comma 0, and then I'm going to connect that line. And when you graph lines, you always want to add the arrows so that you can show that the line goes on forever, because it does. It's not just a small section of numbers that make this equation true. There's a whole infinity along this line. There's a continuation of infinite number of pairs of x and y that will make this true. That's what creates the line. Every pair x, y that you can plug in and make a true statement lands on this line. Okay, so that's why this is called a linear equation, because the pairs of numbers that make it true line up in a straight line on the graph. Okay, so that is how you graph using intercepts. You find the 2 points using 0 as your guides. It'll land you on the y-axis and the x-axis, and then you connect those 2 points. And if you are struggling with drawing a straight line, make sure you use graph paper, use a straight edge, because it's important that you can see that straight line. So now you try number 34 using that same technique. A cute little table of 2 points, x and y. Actually, I'm realizing that's probably on the bottom of the page. So we'll pause this video, move on to the next one, and you can do the try there. Okay, we'll see you at the bottom of page 2.